One of the things I've been meaning to get better at in my sustainability journey is gardening. While I have a few potted plants at home to keep things simple, and I love to support local farmers, I've made quite a few excuses, putting my aspirational veggie garden to the side of my priorities. However, with the start of my organic cookie business, that itch for gardening started again. I've been taking the time to interview farmers, local community gardens, and nonprofits doing fantastic work to make sustainable, organic food more accessible for all. The more I learn about food sustainability, the more I want to grow my own organic food, even if it's on a small scale. It's empowering to support your local economy, but it can be even more fulfilling to grow your own food and serve it on the dinner table. Plus, it's a great screen-free activity to enjoy if you find yourself stuck to the computer all day for work. Though it's already summer, I've had many requests to share content on gardening, so I thought, why not take the time to garden with my mom since her vegetable garden could use some help? Since my mom loves to garden, I hope the addition of more vegetables and fruits will allow both of us to spend more time together over a shared hobby of growing plants. If you've also been intimidated or unsure about starting a small vegetable garden, I hope this video gets you excited about taking those first steps. I'm no gardening expert, but a little research and willpower are really all that you need to get started. Before I start gardening though, I'd like to introduce the sponsor for today's video, Pila. I finally got a case and screen protector to protect my phone, thanks to Pila. Their cases are soft and drop-proof, and best of all, are 100% compostable, even in your backyard. They also came out with a liquid screen protector called Canopy, which is a zero-waste alternative to traditional and wasteful plastic and glass screen protectors. It comes in recyclable packaging and a small glass vial, which can be used to protect 3 phones. Pila is a certified B Corporation, part of 1% for the Planet, and they're on a mission to create a waste-free future with their line of phone cases, accessories, and more. And I'm thrilled to be partnering with them on this gardening video. Be sure to find more details about their circular, zero-waste products with the link in the description box, and use the discount code Christine for 20% off your purchase. If you're starting a garden for the first time, it's good to have a rough plan. First, where will you be able to plant? Do you have a community garden, or some yard space, or maybe a small patio? Is there plenty of sunlight where you'll be growing, or do you plan on growing mostly in the shade? Is the soil you have healthy enough to plant, or do you want to use containers? Gardens can be as simple as having an array of potted vegetables, which is excellent for small spaces and apartments. Or you can consider building simple garden beds. So here's a glimpse of what my parents' garden looks like before. There are already some raised beds that receive quite a bit of sunlight, but my mom hasn't filled it out with much produce since the hot sun has been quite tough on the plants that would grow there. Next, I did a bit of research to see what produce would be best to plant. It's cheaper to grow from seeds, but it will take some more planning and time. Take a look at growing calendars specific to your region to figure out when to start germinating seeds, and also consider how much sunlight and space you have before choosing what produce to grow. Since I'm starting a bit late as it's already early summer, my best option is to purchase seedlings that are good summer crops. Luckily, my local nursery had a good variety of organic seedlings that are good to grow during this time. If you're at the nursery already, it's also a good idea to stock up on any other supplies such as organic garden soil and compost if you do need it. So there are 2 empty garden beds that I'll be working on today, and my next step is to prepare the soil. Having healthy soil is key to having a successful garden, and I've read that it's best to have at most about 25% of your soil be made of compost. So I'm preparing the beds to have a combination of organic compost and organic garden soil that is made specifically for raised beds. It's also a good idea to make sure the soil is nice and moist for the plants, so I'm hosing it down with plenty of water to prepare it. In time, you can also feel free to add worm castings or any fertilizer of choice to help maintain your soil. If you're planting a variety of seedlings in a raised bed, you'll want to plan where to plant them accordingly as they'll be sharing the space. It's important that you have a variety of tall plants, large vines, and smaller plants so that the produce isn't fighting for space as they grow. You can find garden plans online if you need guidance regarding where to put your plants in your raised bed. For our garden bed specifically, we'll be keeping taller plants in the back, such as peppers, green beans, and tomatoes. We'll also make sure that the squash, watermelon, and zucchini aren't next to each other, as they often compete for ground space as they sprawl out when they grow. Herbs tend to be a good plant to fill in between, so we'll fill in the empty spots with some small chives, green onion, and basil later. So with the first garden bed already planted and squared away, I'll be doing the same process with the second garden bed, but it will take a bit more work. My mom actually removed the wooden plank at the bottom of this garden bed, thinking it would help the rosemary grow deeper roots. However, a lot of weeds had sprouted through and our soil isn't very healthy in the first place. I found some tips online that suggested a layer of cardboard at the bottom of the garden could help with weed control. So I'll be moving around the soil and placing pieces of cardboard on the bottom where the seedlings will go. Once the cardboard is layered in, it's time to go ahead and add the soil and compost again, mixing everything so it's ready for planting. I'm adding some more seedlings to this bed to give the rosemary plant some company, including some heirloom tomatoes, zucchini, and chives that my mom was already growing. So that's the first chapter of this vegetable garden, though it will take more effort and care to make sure that everything grows well in time. We're trying our best to keep an eye on the vegetables, so my mom and I are constantly texting back and forth to see how we can improve. And I've already ordered some burlap fabric to create some shade since some of the seedlings don't seem to be taking the heat and sunlight too well this summer. It's definitely a learning process, so take it step by step if you're just like me and starting out, and there's nothing wrong with starting out with just a few potted vegetables and herbs to keep things simple. If you'd like to learn more about food sovereignty, organic farming, and more, I'll be sure to link the Christine's Cookie Co. blog in the description box as well, as I've been learning a lot from the people who are working in the sustainable food industry. And if you have any tips for gardening that you'd like to share with me or this community, do let us know in the comments below. Again, I'm definitely not an expert and am all ears when it comes to best practices for keeping a vegetable garden, so hold me to it. With that, hope all of you enjoyed this little day of gardening with me. Thanks to Pila for sponsoring this video, and be sure to check out the description box again for a discount code so you can get their wonderful compostable zero waste products. I'll see you guys in the next video, and as always, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and week ahead.